Hello, everybody, and welcome to Charlie Mike, hosted by me, Mike Buchanan. Today, we have a friend of mine on here to talk to us about this nonprofit that he's involved with. You're like the state lead for this, right? Okay. So, this is Jamison Hurley. Say hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hi. So this is your camera. If I do anything stupid, feel free to just look into the camera and be like, he's an idiot. Typically what you would normally do in a social setting with me, it's just now you get to do it with a lot more people involved.
Got it. Easy.
Okay, perfect.
Easy.
Perfect. So why don't you just start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
All right. I'm Jamison Hurley. I'm a state lead for Veterans Creed Outdoors Team Texas. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. We cover the entire state of Texas. We're a national organization. I just cover the state. We're active in, I think, 13 states right now. And what we do is we take active duty veterans, first responders as well, on free or low-cost fishing, hunting, and outdoor trips. So we do everything from deer hunting, dove hunting, duck hunting, to recently we took 25 females out on a horseback riding and painting with a twist. And that seemed to be a huge hit. So what we do is we do it off a raffle system off on our Facebook group. And what we do is if you see a trip that you think you can make, you throw your name in or whatever phrase we told you to put in there. If you get picked, you go. All you're responsible for is, gear, of course. Yeah, but if you don't have your gear, let me know. We're not going to turn you away because you don't have gear or you're wanting to learn. Come on, we'll do it. And then, you pay for your gear getting there, so your transportation there and any proper licensing. Once you get on site, it's all on me. So, like right now, we had a guy offer us 30 spots for dove hunting for at $50 a piece, which is a good deal. So that's a reduced trip that guys are loving because dove season's, 2 weeks away.
Yep.
So I'm ready.
Yeah.
I am ready.
So, man, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. I haven't actually gotten to go hunting in a long time. So at this point, I think do you remember the first time you ever went hunting?
Oh, yeah. I was little.
Okay. Yeah, little, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember that, fear that you had, though? Because you're like, oh, no. Like, the first time I went deer hunting, I was like, oh, no, I'm going to have to gut this thing.
Yeah.
And I was, mortified. I was like, oh, God. I was like, oh, no. That's kind of, the feeling I would probably have at this point if I went hunting again.
My biggest fear every time I deer hunt is falling asleep. So, because I'll be sitting there, I'm like, oh, this is so peaceful.
I think my biggest fear is turkeys. I'm terrified of turkeys. Terrified.
They're just big.
No, don't you dare say that they're just big birds, like big chickens. No, they're not. Listen to me, everyone out there. Turkeys are. If you've never seen a turkey, like a wild turkeys are vicious. Vicious.
You have a shotgun. That's what
I understand, but they're vicious and they come from above. It's literally death from above, okay?
They barely fly.
I know, but they're always stacked in trees, okay? And you expect them to be on the ground because that's where they are in all the videos. They're not. They're in the trees. They're in the trees. Are just waiting for you in the trees.
Yeah, that's why you shoot them.
They're terrifying. I'm terrified of turkeys.
Yeah. I mean... Turkey hunting is
it's super
hard
fun
because you spook them, they're out.
Yes.
They're gone.
Yes, so, but it is super fun.
I mean, dove hunting is when most people, they're like, I don't know when to pick a trip. I'm like, well, put your name on everything.
Yeah.
Because you can. We keep a trip tracker. That way everybody gets a fair shot at a trip. So, most people, when they put their names in trips, that's something they personally enjoy, because one trip could be up here in North Texas and the next one's down in South Texas. And there's opportunities that people never have, especially when it comes to duck hunting and all that other stuff. So it's like, just put your name in what you feel you can make and go and experience it. And now, because I'm taking people on trips again that I took on trips a year and a half ago, and it's awesome for them to find a hobby that brings them peace and watch them they've grown into being a hunter or a fisherman or anything like that. It's that's the whole point, is to show you a healthy hobby to explore. And that's the whole premise is we bring all these guys together that have been in similar situations as you, and then we put you into a hunt where y'all get out there and bond and have fun, and it really didn't cost you a whole lot. At the most, it cost you gas. So
yeah, it's really good too. I know that hunting has been really like a godsend for like a lot of my buddies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's something that helps de-isolate you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because and get you outside. Because I know like we have a massive problem, especially the 100%ers, right? We have massive problems with like getting outside and going to do stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's no point, right? And most of the time we're so broken, right?
Yeah.
That like it's like even if we wanted to go outside and do something, like we know that we can't do it for like forever. And so like why even?
Yeah.
Like why even?
Like, because, I served in the Army. I was military police.
Boo.
Yeah.
Boo.
Boo.
Everyone hates you.
Hey, you can't spell pimp without MP. Remember that.
Okay. Wow.
But, it's, and that's the thing, we did get bashed, here, there, everywhere, just because, our job was. And,
to write us tickets for everything.
Yeah. Well, don't break the law. That's what the law's there for. And if MPs really hung out with MPs.
Yep.
And then, you come back and people find your MP. They're like, some don't give a crap, but some were like, nah, no thanks. I'm like, I had MP do this. I'm like, but you did that. So that's why that MP did that, And so, and this thing is, it's like when you come back, it's like my friends really don't understand because most of them didn't serve. I got lucky over the years, being from Texas. A lot of people serve from Texas. I got a lot of friends I served with at DFW, so I can see most of them within 45 minutes. But of course now we all got kids and busy with life, but we still try to make a point to see each other as much as possible. But like when I came back home, I just fell into that bad habit because like I had nobody to talk to, nobody understood. And so I tried to put on a good face in what I was doing, but instead I was just turned to the bottle. I just drank and drank and drank. And then I slowly got back into fishing because, I was stationed in Europe. You can't really fish over there.
Yeah.
And then I got stationed at Port Riley, and I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. I'm like, this place is not that great, but it's got great fishing and hunting and all that. So I slowly was able to get back into it. And then when I came home, I got back into it again, slowly, just built up. And then it got to the point where, people were trying to find me. My mom's like, did you check all the ponds? Did you check all the creeks? Because if I wasn't working, I was fishing.
Yeah.
And then, life happens, you get married, you have kids, I got 5 of them now. So
I know. I always roll my eyes every time you tell me that you have 5 kids.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, oh my God, how do you do it?
And all boys.
I know.
All boys. But it's awesome. Great excuse to buy more guns.
That is true.
The last one, on the way home, I stopped and picked it up. So
yeah, see, my wife was like, hey, we should have another kid. And I was like, we've had 2 boys. So like the likelihood of me having another boy is high.
Extremely high.
Yeah, so I was like, no. I was like, no, I'm good with 2, man.
Yeah. And it's, with that, but now, I was getting to the point where I was having issues again. And, the Denton VA clinic, they helped me a ton. I got good help. And I started feeling myself again. And I, actually made like fishing a priority in my life. And from there, just getting back in the hobby, because if you fish, you can't afford to do anything else, because literally it's the best gimmick ever, because like all these new baits come out and it's just new colors of what's been around for 20 years, but you have to have them all so you can throw them and lose them. And then, and then I saw a trip from another organization like mine, and I went on a trip with it, and I was like, man, this is awesome. I'm gonna get involved. And they told me to, pound sand.
Kick rocks.
Yep. I'm like, cool. And then I actually ended up getting, like, 2 months later, I went on a trip with Veterans Creed, and I was like, I had just as much fun. We went duck hunting, and I was like, man, this is awesome. I loved it. I love this. And the state lead at the time, Aaron Berger, who's now our national lead, he was like, man, we need staffers. If this is something you enjoy, come over to this, help us run it. like, okay, cool. And then that was in the story. I went from just a little field staffer to state lead. We've grown by 10 times. This year, we're on track to take out almost current projections over 1,000 people on trips. So that's hunting, fishing, everything we do outdoors. And the one thing that I think it sets us apart from everybody else is that, we can get that veteran, that first responder out there. And that shows them a pathway, but you got to look at the whole family as a unit. If one person's down, it brings the whole unit down. So we do family days, and what we do is what we used to do is we'd like partner with the church, or we find like a park with a nice pond, and contact the city, and everybody just shows up. There's no you don't get drawn, nothing. You just, if you can make it, show up, and we barbecue and fish. That's all we do.
That's cool.
We just hang out, chill out, barbecue, just have a good time. You can come and go as you please. And now that's progressed even bigger thanks to Cabela's Bass Pro Shop and the Cabela's Bass Pro Shop Outdoor Fund. They give us a donation to do our family fishing day at their Fort Worth location, and every kid leaves with a free fishing rod, brand new.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they don't even use their fishing rod to fish there. They use Cabela's rods, and then as y'all leave, grab a rod, get on out.
That's
so now my
super
garage
cool.
is full of fishing poles.
Yeah. That's so neat. I think that it's really good that you involved the family, because, it's literally like a conversation I was having with my boss before you even got here, was about how I was talking about spouses, about how spouses and families, right? Our spouses and our kids. There's tons of help out there for us as veterans, right? But the organizations only focus on that, right? Like a lot of organizations that, are for us as veterans are just for that, veterans, period, right? And so like, that's great. There's 1,000 different places for us to get help, but there's only like 1 or 2 places for like spouses to ever be taken care of, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like It's wild to me, because it's like you have to think is like they're half of the equation, or more.
Well, it's like you look at it's like the veteran created some damage.
Yes.
Okay, well, then we fix the veteran, but the damage is still there.
Yeah, the spouse is still damaged.
Yeah,
from the damage that was occurring, right? Because it's codependency is what it's called, right? It's the official term for it.
Yeah, and that's like December 2021. I told my entire staff that 2022 is going to be dedicated to female veterans and first responders and active duty, because even though they like female veterans, they still have all this. They're still heavily underrepresented.
1,000%.
So,
oh my God, yes.
So it's so we're going to change that.
Yeah.
And then this year we're going to focus harder on the family element, because I think it was like July 15th. Oh, what's today? No, yeah, it was like July 15th. I think, or no, July 30th. We had an event at Fort Worth Cabela's, and at one point I turned around, I looked around, no one was fishing, and I looked down in the air. They're all laying around, eating, talking, having a great time. Like all the kids left happy, smiling. It's a bunch of kids, like families, got to experience catching their first fish. I mean, Cabela's just went overboard to help us, and we went overboard to help everybody, because that's the way we do. And I'm like, that's it. That's the goal. I mean, the main goal is always getting veterans and first responders out into the outdoors, because to me, nothing's better than just being in a deer stand or walking, treading through neck deep water through a creek to hit a good fishing spot. But we can also do it with the families. Yeah. So, I mean, because if we can if we can help the whole unit heal, then we did our job. The veteran will be even better off. The spouse will be better off. They'll have a stronger family bond. And it's because of the outdoors, and we could be able to facilitate that.
Yeah, agreed. So. 1,000% agreed. And you're right with the female veterans thing. It's a big deal right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like even the VA is starting to shift a lot of focus on female veterans and the services and stuff that they receive, because you're right. I mean, they're way underrepresented. Way underrepresented.
Yeah, and actually there's 2 emerging fields in the outdoor worlds, and you're starting to see a lot more female veterans in active duty or females, period, hunting and fishing. But in the veteran world, you're really starting to see that explode. And the other is African American females. They're by far like blowing it out of the water with they're getting into the outdoors, hunting, fishing, everything. So it's like we need to cater to that.
I just love to see them represented, because they're a very underserved population. They serve just like we did. And most of the time, let me be honest with you, I will say this into the camera, most of the time, the female veterans that I served with, that I had the pleasure of serving with, like the MPs, right? Yeah. We had a group of MP girls, okay? And they served with us right next to us at our COP, okay? And they were like the Terminator. Straight up. That girl could, like, literally, they were, like, scary. They were so good at combat, okay? So, like, I would have taken 10 of them, okay, over 10 of the dudes that we had attached to us. I thought any day. Any day.
Actually,
any day.
My North Texas co-lead, Cassie, I served with her in Europe, and I do not mess with her.
Yeah.
No.
It's here. I always explain this to people, like when people got up in arms about like female veterans being in combat now, they got up, like some, what I mean? Like some of our dudes that we were deployed with or whatever we were serving with, they're like, it's no place for a female. BS. Yeah. Every other country in the entire world uses females, okay, on the front lines because they shoot better, they're more accurate, they're calmer under pressure, they can handle the situation a lot better. Like it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, well, it's been proven men get aroused.
Yes.
They're in combat.
Yeah.
And where females are like, well, I just want to get this over with.
Yes.
And I'm like...
But they're just calmer under pressure, too, right? Yeah. It's usually typically why, like, my wife is... Even if my wife works full-time, she's still head of my household.
They all are.
Listen.
They let you act like you're the head of household, but at the end of the day, you're it goes... her, kids, dogs, and you.
Yes, I always tell people, you may be the head of the household. You may think that you're the head of the household as a dude, but she's the neck, and the head doesn't go anywhere or turn any direction without the neck.
Yep.
Right. I mean, like if you fuse that neck, that's it. You're done. You're just looking in one direction.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's I'm trying to work on more female hunts and all that. Good. With the current economic climate, it's rough for everybody. But we're not stuck. We haven't slowed down. We're working with what we got, and that I think that proves to me, that shows me what my team is capable of. Because I'm like, like we got this and this and this. I'm like, well, we have this is what we got, and they're like, cool, I don't need that. I'll figure it out. And they come back and like, oh, I got all this now. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. My team. The biggest thing a lot of people like, because they're like, well, how much do you get paid for doing this? I'm like, nothing. They're like, well, you can have paid members. I'm like, we could, yeah. Oh yeah, by the law we could have, but from national all the way down to my newest staffer, we're all volunteer, all unpaid, all veteran first responder staff. No one gets paid. They pay for their own hotel rooms. They pay for their own gas. Every penny we get literally goes right back to our members. Like we take nothing. I mean, the most my staffers will get a staff shirt and a hat. That's what they get. After that, occasionally like dictate trips. Sometimes we have to pay for stuff, but like 98% of the funds we raise go to our members. Get them outdoors.
That's awesome. I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the way I look at it is, if you're doing it for a paycheck, you're not doing it for the right reason.
Amen.
So that's the way I look at it. In this realm that we operate in. This is something, because I work a full-time job on top of this. I literally work full-time job. I put 40 hours in a week at least with Veterans Creed and 40 hours in at work. And I live for it. I don't get to hunt and fish much because everyone's like, oh, I want to go hunt with you. I'm like, hey, I run the organization. I'm like, I sacrifice my fun to make sure y'all have fun. And I do not regret any second of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that people still don't understand, right? Sometimes when they're helping people, okay? Mm-hmm. I tell VA employees this all the time, and I tell really anybody that's in the public service, right? Is that like technically what you're providing is a public service, right? I mean, like
we're a registered nonprofit.
Exactly. So you're helping someone. You're in the job of servicing people, right? And so I always tell people, like, you're a public servant. If you're helping people, then you're a public servant. especially us at the VA, we're public servants. And I think people don't remember that, right? Is that they get so fixated on like their own lives and their own paycheck and their own bills and their own stuff that they forget that like their job, their payment, their paycheck wouldn't even exist if it weren't for the people that we were here to serve, right? And so like I just try to remind people of that all the time, right? Is that you're a public servant, you are here to serve the public, period. End of statement, right?
Yeah.
You're here to serve.
Yeah, and then, you know, with the mentality that we keep, that's when we get sponsors like we got now, like Monster Bass. It's a monthly subscription box for fishing. Like all he wants to do is for you to catch your personal best. That's all he wants. He wants you to catch your PB. Is what he calls it. And when we were nobodies, I shot my shot, and I'm like, hey, this is what we do, and you know we're growing. And he's like, heck yeah, man, Rick Petrie out of California, he is awesome. He's like, heck yeah, let's do it. And like anytime I've ever needed anything, boom. And then of course, you know, like I got local sponsors like Joe's Bait and Tackle out of Lake Dallas, 4B Baits out of Lake Dallas. They're both better known companies, and like literally, I go in there and go, hey, I need all this. He's like, cool, here you go. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, bro, I got you.
I think people appreciate the genuineness though of like certain organizations or certain people that work for those organizations that are just genuine, right? To where you're like, listen, I'm just trying to help people, and like anything that you can give me, even if it's like one piece of bait. Yeah. Like, I don't care, but anything that you can do.
One piece of bait and I'll get one person out fishing.
That's exactly right, right? Like, oh my God, yes.
I'll get them out of their house. I'll get them outdoors. And the biggest thing is that when you get into those situations, or when you get to those, you know, well, I guess, yeah, when you get to the situation, they talk, you know. And sometimes, like, we have it's a Lake Kickapoo fish camp out of Holiday, Texas. 2 to 4 times a year, we get a 3-day fishing trip out there. We take 3 to 4 guys out there. It's a crappie lake, so like everybody goes home with a bunch of fish, and we're running jug lines. They have a big party every Saturday. Jackie Cooper, Jay's an Air Force veteran. That's all. He loves it. He loves, man. When they hear we're coming, it is just a party the whole 3 days. People are coming from everywhere to take guys out on the water. And like the last time I had a veteran, he fished some, but he was just happy to be out there with other veterans, and that's all he needed. And like when we go on these trips, I don't like some people, like I've seen where like at 10 you're doing this, at 10:30 you're doing this, you know. And we have some trips that are like that because we have a game ranch that, you know, like, oh, it's Conley Game Ranch, and he's like, he wants us to have fun and like we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and the guys loved it. He's like, man, it was just relaxing. They had a great time. Each of them got a red deer, you know. But back like Lake Kickapoo, it's, you know, he wants to create the environment where you just come out and you chill. I mean, it's not like that. It's nothing fancy. You're not going to some high-end lodge. It's simple, and that's the environment they want you to. It's simple, relax. You have no worries while you're here. Just come here, fish. Don't fish. We don't care. Hang out, talk. You go down the barge and talk to people. They don't care. Just they want you to relax. You're here to relax as a thank you to your service. So, and that's, you know, and I tell these guys, I'm like, they're like, well, what time do I have to do this and that? I'm like, you do whatever you want, man. We don't. I'm not forcing you to do anything you don't want to do. I'm like, at these times they'll be running the boats because we have to check jug lines for catfish. You know, we have to check, you know, because that is a time thing. You don't want the fish to stand there too long because they'll die. We want to keep them alive so we can eat them. But other than that, whatever you want to do. So they're waking up at 4 a.m. to go out there and check lines. I'm like, well, I'm going to be asleep. So.
Yeah, right. Me too. No, that's really neat, man. That's neat. And I'm glad to see that you're so involved with it because I know that we've known each other for a while.
Oh, yeah. Long time.
A long time now. So, and I know that you've always been looking for something that to kind of sink your teeth into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this. And so like, it's really nice to see.
Yeah. And like, I mean, you know, before I worked for Peterbilt and then we had the Peterbilt Veterans Group, that's where we met and you came out and talked. That was a huge success. I think by the time I got, cause you know, with COVID, I got laid off. And by the time I left, I think I had 70 employees that never had their benefits.
Curtsy.
Because of you. Yeah, because we recorded it.
Yeah.
And like we were sending it to the employees to watch. And most of them are like, oh, this is what I heard about the VA. I'm like, okay, cool. One guy that is just disgruntled about everything is telling you what to do about your benefits. I'm like, and I don't even think that guy served. So why are you listening to him? Dude, you earn these benefits. Go get them. And now everyone's like, oh my God, I can't, dude. I'm like, it's like, oh, I've had this foot pain. I've been to all these doctors and I went to one appointment and they're like, well, this is what's wrong. And like, they fixed it.
Yeah.
And now my foot pain. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's awesome. I mean, I'm like, is the VA perfect? No.
No,
never.
Absolutely not. No.
But are they trying? Man, the VA is trying. I've seen from when I got out till now, there is a huge difference. I get yelled at by my doctor for not doing stuff now. So, but she knows me. She's got to keep me in line because I'm kind of defiant sometimes. So, but Peterbilt had the veterans group, and that was my first taste. I'm like, man, I found what I want to do. And now the company I work for now fully embraces it. They actually donate like all the food for some of the events. They donate a lot of it because they love it and they want to be part of it. And and then this is I kind of moseyed into this because of a hunt, and I love it. I live for it. I mean, one day will not, be nice to have this as a career, yes, but until then, I'm still loving it.
Yeah.
So
that's good, man. It's always good to see. I just love to see people kind of come into their own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to where they're like, this is what I want to do. And then they figure it out. And then, then they're the best at what they're doing because they love it so much.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I've had failures and I've had success, and you learn from the failures. And I mean, and like everybody else, I suffer from some pretty severe anxiety. So, we had an event and it was planned out, it was looking good, and then one outside element derailed the whole thing, and we just rolled with it and learned a ton. And now we're looking forward to the next one. It's like I learned what not to do and what to do, and I definitely know I'm not going to, be involved with a few things. But I got it down now. Now I know what, I got it down. I'm going to do it, and it's going to be a success. That one was a massive hit to the chin, but oh well, nothing I can do about it now. I got to roll on. So,
yeah, you can only control so much, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it brought us a lot of attention, and the biggest thing that brought us a lot of attention. I mean, we were already, we usually add anywhere from 10 to 20 members a day as it is. So from there, it's just blown up now.
You guys add 10 to 20 members a day
on our Facebook group.
Why can't we add 10 to 20 subscribers a day? That's what I need.
Free stuff.
I know. I know, right?
Well, see, on top of all this stuff that we already do, I have, companies not like, hey, we want you to give this just to, like, some guys like, hey, we want you to give you these reels to police.
Yeah.
Or we just want you to give them away to all majority of them. We just want to give it away to all your members. So I'm always giving away baits, reels, hunting stuff, anything these companies are like, hey, and most, it's funny because most of the time they're like, oh, but in return, we want pictures and all the social media. Most of the time, like, no, we just want them to have it. I'm like, so you want me just to pick one and give it away? Like, yeah. I'm like, that's awesome. Those are the companies I want to work for.
Pictures and social media is fair.
It is. Oh, it is.
Fair.
But, hey, it's a give and take as always.
Yes.
I'm fair, but, I understand. But there's a lot of organizations out there, they just want to
exploit.
No, I just want to get people. Well, yeah, there are.
Yeah, there are
companies that want to exploit you.
There are.
I've had my fair share. They're like, we'll give you this, but we're going to do all this.
Yes.
And I'm like, nope.
That's not balanced.
And they're like, why? You're telling us no? I'm like, yeah, I'm telling you no. I'm like, because I got to protect Veterans Creed at all costs.
I won't name names, okay? But I will say that there has been some very well-known organizations, okay, that the VA has dealt with in the past, like our VA has dealt with in the past, that are local, who have tried to push us around, right? And then some of the big wigs will kind of like be like that. They'll get starstruck. You know how some people are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm sure you've dealt with some organizations, some big organizations, where like you kind of get starstruck, or you're like, "Are you really talking to me?"
Yeah.
And then they ask the world of you sometimes, right? And you have to be like, "Nah."
Yeah. Like
pause.
Monster Bass are huge in the fishing world. Cabela's and Bass Pro.
That's huge.
That's huge.
Who doesn't know about Cabela's?
Exactly, and that's why like people push. I'm like, look, I don't push them because they support us.
Yeah,
I push them because before they even support us, I was already using their product, and it's an amazing product. that it just so happens they support us, and now I push it even harder because it works. Like, if you want to catch your personal best, they'll give you the tools to do it. So it's like, that's why they support us. I'm going to support them. It's just like the same with Bass Pro Shop Bells and Joe's Bait Tackle and Lake Kickapoo. And
it has to be a mutual back and forth. That's just what I've found. It's just good business. It's just good outreach. It's good community. Being a community member kind of thing is like, it has to be that good, that give and take kind of back and forth.
Yeah, but it
has to be equal for everybody.
And, and at the end of the day, it's, it has to... I'm trying to figure out how to word it up. Like, put my foot in my mouth.
A win-win?
Not a win-win, but, this world just kind of sucks. And
you can say this world sucks. It's fine.
Yeah, it does. And I want to work with good people.
Yeah, well, good luck. Good luck to you, sir.
For every 20, crappy people I meet, I meet one good one.
I can agree with that.
And, it's just like, at the end of the day, a lot of nonprofits, you have people that start them, directors and all that, they get paid for it. And, that's their careers, and that's fine. You can do that as long as you're still doing good. But, I don't know if we'll ever be at that level, and I don't care if we are, because as long as I still think I have something to benefit Veterans Creed, I'll run the state. And until the day I don't feel like I'm effective, then I'll step down. Because Veterans Creed just needs to continue to grow and reach people, because we have people actually like joining Facebook so they can keep up with us. And they're like, they'll message me like, hey, I created Facebook, and there's not a picture on it, and I just want to make sure I'm gonna let you know I'm joining. And I'm like, okay, cool, yeah.
You put people on the grid?
Yeah, I know.
How dare you?
I know.
How dare you?
Outdoor trips do some funny things.
I know.
But it's like all that matters to me is at the end of every trip that everybody's smiling and happy. So, and I have not yet had a trip where everybody didn't leave. It's funny because 3 to 10 people show up and they do not know each other at all. And then next thing you know, they're all friends on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. And then it's funny because you'll see them 6 months later, they're hanging out after. Like, they live 4 hours from each other, but they arranged to go have dinner. I'm like, that's when we did our job right.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. They found someone they can bond with and have a good time with. And now they're going off hunting and fishing together. Or it's like we'll post a trip, and now they'll start tagging each other in them. And then they'll both put their names in so they can go, so that maybe they'll get a shot at going together. So it's like, this is what we presented as, and this is what we do, and then this is what happens after. It's, that's mission success, is when you see them bonding and getting along and having a good time and just staying in a healthy hobby. Because that's the whole thing is to keep you away from going down that path of alcohol, drugs, all that. Mm-hmm. We allow alcohol events, but like the rule is that top pops, you're done for the day. You're not getting on no boats. You're not even putting a line in the water. You're done. That's just a safety precaution. We have, it's safety. We just have to look at safety. So, but other than that, they don't, we don't like restrict that. But, if you're raging, if you have a problem, we ask you not to, but we don't control people. But the thing is, we're showing you there's other avenues. And some people are like, I've had guys like, man, I don't think fishing's for me, and it's like, I just love video games, but I wanted to get out here and try. I'm like, man, I'm happy you came out and tried it. I'm like, and I wish there's an organization for veterans that play video games. So
there are quite a few, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes. I'll name drop. I'll name drop. You're welcome. You're going to owe me one of these days. Wounded Warrior Project actually does that now. They have an entire video game division of the Wounded Warrior Project. Correct.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know if you remember a guy named Dan that used to work for Wounded Warrior Project. Mm. So he locally here. So he actually went and started up that whole like portion of the Wounded Warrior Project.
Hey, but they
have like their own Discord. I mean, video gamers, you will understand what I'm talking about. So they have like their own Discord channel and everything. Yeah. So they have it like broken down into like games and platforms and PC or PlayStation or Xbox or Wii or.
Yeah. And like, this is like I tell most of the veterans first responders I talk to, I'm like, if hunting and fishing is not your thing, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm happy you tried. I'm happy you got here and you gave it a shot. But just because I don't cover what your interests are, don't stop looking for it. Go out there and find it.
Yeah, and they might come back to it later.
Yeah, and I think, yeah,
you never know. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, we've had, we had one special project we were working on. We had a family reach out. It was a Korean War veteran. He was on hospice. His last dream was to shoot one more deer with his rifle. And we had companies. There's a company called Camo Dust. It's a scent cover or scent blocker, and they donated a bunch of stuff. We had a family donate their land. We got blinds, hunting blinds. We got seats. We had hotels. We even had hotel rooms arranged, and we had veterans just come out of the woodwork to donate corn and mineral and all that. And from there, they that's where we make it happen. But sadly, he didn't make it. He died about 2 weeks before we were taking him out.
Oh, that's a shame.
That was a big hit because we were looking so forward to it. But that's the stuff that matters to us. It's like we were able to make that happen for him. And in the future, I hope to do something like that again. But it's stuff like that, man. It's like, man, really making an impact. The family was just ecstatic. They told us, and we put a memorial up for them, and it sucked because we got to know the family. Mm-hmm. And man, everybody. There's probably 60, 70 people just waiting for him to watch him pull that trigger because we're gonna have a camera crew out there and everything to record this because this was his last. This was his dying wish, and we wanted to make it happen. And he didn't.
Unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, but it was awesome. It was awesome that we could be part of that. I mean, that was like a big impact in my life, just being able to be part of that. So
helping people is amazing sometimes.
Yeah, I love it.
It's amazing most of the time.
I love it.
Well, listen, man, thanks so much.
Oh, yeah.
That's about all we got time for.
Yeah.
But thanks so much for coming on to the podcast. I really do appreciate it. I love it whenever you come on to anything that I do because, we're really good friends. And I just want to say it again. I'm so happy that you have kind of found your niche.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so happy for you.
Oh, yeah.
Can't stress it enough.
Yeah, it's even better now that I can involve my kids and family in it. And yeah,
I know. I mean, you're 57,000 kids that you have.
I can't help them fertile.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Find us. Look up we're on Facebook and Instagram. On Facebook, we have a page in the group, Veterans Creed Outdoors Team Texas, and in the groups it's Veterans Creed Outdoors Team Texas Trips. Go on there, ask to join, answer 3 questions. That's it. On Instagram, we're Veterans Creed Outdoors Team Texas. The Instagram and the main page, they're just for general information for the public and stuff like that. Every once in a while, we'll do a giveaway on there. But the main actions happens on the group page. And, shout out to my sponsors, man.
Yeah, is that how they get involved?
Yeah, that's how
just Facebook?
Just Facebook. Okay. Yeah, you go on there, ask to join.
Well, thanks for creating more work for me. I will put those down below while he was saying them. I will go back and put those. So when he's talking about them, they're going to be at the bottom. But he just created lots of work for me, so thank you.
This is what you get paid to do.
Thanks a lot.
And also, I brought you some swag.
Sweet.
A VCO cup with my first sublimation print on it. Yeah, I was pretty proud of this one.
How exciting.
There's a sticker in there. Oh, there's stuff in there.
Oh, sweet, man.
Monster Bass camo hat.
Oh, thanks.
These are gold.
I love me some camo hats, man.
Yeah.
I mean, obvious.
That's like BDU, buddy, all the way.
Yeah, obvi.
And it's summer BDU. So,
yeah, that is nice. That's super nice.
Yeah, just reach out. I'm Jamie Hurley. I'm all over it. Being in this position, I'm kind of out there. So VCO. Texas at gmail.com. You can contact us.
Is there so that's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah. I mean,
say that one more time.
VCO Texas at gmail.com. My phone number's all over the place as well. Or you can email him. He's got my card.
VCO. Yeah, I do. I do have his information. Yeah. But all of your information will be at the bottom. That's another thing that I'm now going to have to put in the bottom of the screen.
Hey, but look what you're doing, though. Someone might need to go hunting or fishing.
That's true. I hope that people reach out. I hope I hope a bunch of people reach out, honestly.
Me too.
But I mean, I got to give you crap for giving me more work to do.
I make sure I get my I make sure my tax dollars go to good use.
Yeah, there it is. Remind me that I'm a government employee, why don't you, by saying, you know who pays for your paycheck? Me, this guy. I also pay for my paycheck. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's funny because I pay for my BA check. So
right?
Yeah, I'm like, well, why do I work so hard? Oh, so I can get that. So they can take taxes to pay my other check.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes, exactly. All right, man. Well, thank you so much for being on. I really do appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
All right, everybody. That's it. That's all we got for you today. Big thanks to Jamie. I'm going to call you Jamie.
Everybody calls me Jamie. It's
I
okay.
know. But thanks to Jamison Hurley. Thanks for so much for being on. Also, like I said, I'll put all that information down below. It'll also be in the description page. Please make sure to like and subscribe. And if I also wanted to ask a question this time so you can answer it in the comments. What is one of, I guess, the most favorite things that you guys like to do, or what would you want to hear about more on the podcast?
Hey, I
What
got
you
a
think about
question,
that?
too.
Go ahead.
Put in the comments what you want to do in the outdoors and let me know.
There it is.
I got everything. I have a helicopter hog pilot that's sponsored by Sky Hunter Outfitters. She's Marine Corps, and her fiance, husband, boyfriend's Marine Corps. They're awesome people, so we might be doing more of that too.
All right, well that's it. You heard it from Jamison. Let us know in the comment section down below, and I always reply to those, by the way, FYI. All right, that's it. That's all we got for you. Just remember, always Charlie Mike.
At least I got something left to stand